Hi, this is Chris with Destination Art, and today I am painting this little scene. I believe I saw this scene watching a video from Second Chance Hiker, and I think I took a sketch of it when it was, I was watching it on my TV, and so then, so it's from memory though, so the aspects that I remember are the angle of the hillside and the pathway going over the hill and then the trees and stuff. So I didn't actually look at a reference for this one. It was just remembering what I had seen. So I'm not sure how accurate it is, to tell you the truth. Anyway, so I'm still trying to improve my process, and I'm trying to do that by thumbnailing, taking inspiration from, of course, drawing with waffles. And so for this one, I am doing a thumbnail, just a value study with my Tombow marker. And I was still using my colored pencil paper. So I used a little bit of water because the Tombow, of course, is you can use water to sort of spread it around. So anyway, I wasn't exactly sure how this was going to work. So I didn't go too far in depth. But I just wanted to lay out where everything might be so that I could see if I had a composition that I actually kind of liked, I suppose. Which, once again, when I paint, okay, my challenge is when I paint. One, if I'm doing it from memory, it's usually quite boring. My horizon line is flat. I don't have any hills. I don't put enough interest in stuff. That's just what my brain comes up with. It just doesn't, I haven't learned, I guess, the elements. Like I took a class one time with Jerry Arnell. It was kind of awesome, but he was saying that you kind of, for a landscape, you need, 7 or 9 value changes. So that kind of means you need 7 or 9 different layers in your landscape so that you start really far off in the distance with some light mountains, and then you gradually increase your value as you come forward. So anyway, in painting acrylic, I could probably actually, manage to get 5 or 6 layers in there, but with watercolor, I have been struggling really hard to do that. So I did the first thumbnail with Tombow, and the second thumbnail, I went back in and used some colored pencils, which my last one I used colored pencils, and I kind of fussed that they weren't dark enough, but I think this time I had better expectations and was just trying out some different colors to see if I could make it interesting again. And so here is the result of that. And then I decided to paint this with watercolor, and I used a small format painting again. I actually have to show that in an upcoming video. I bought a photo album that holds 4x6 photos, but I've actually been putting all of these postcards that I paint. I've been putting them in there, and it's actually, I'm kind of really liking it. It's lots of fun. So here I am. I did create a thicker border with the tape so that there would be a little bit more interest. Also trying not to overpaint this bad boy, but of course I do love the paint. So I'm trying not to overpaint the sky. So I've realized that part of my challenge is that I've been painting my skies so dark that when I move forward and get into the mountains, there's a disconnect between the values. And I think maybe if I do more of a gradual change from dark to light at the horizon, but I haven't been doing that. So I've just been, slapping some paint on there and lifting up some places for clouds, which I love the effect. But for a landscape, it makes it a little bit challenging because your mountains need the value with the sky and the mountains needs to be correct, and I've been doing it sort of backwards. So, okay, yeah. Anyway, also with this painting, I really was not happy with the results. So the whole time in my head, I'm thinking form, shadow, and detail. So that's what I'm thinking in my head, form, shadow, detail. And so this first go around, I really was just trying to get the form of the hillside and form of the rocks and form of the trees and the mountains and stuff like that. Then I was planning on going through and doing a little bit more shadow shading with some paint, but I actually went in with a marker and did a little bit of that. And the reason why I did that is because I also noticed that I had some transparency problems. So you'll see in just a second, but I'm building up basically the hillside, trying to make sure that it sort of looks like it flows and that there's some interest, and then sort of the flatland there that falls down from the path, and then added some rocks in there too. So since I'm painting in such a small format, and actually I was using quite a large brush for this, but here I am starting to put in the trees, it's always a challenge when you're painting something that sometimes you make it too regular. And in this case, I had done that as well. So I used a really, really bright green, hoping that that would serve as my highlights on the trees. And then I went in and actually got a darker green, which was supposed to represent more form and some shadows. And the issue that I'm having is with this paper, it has a tendency to just sort of all run together and become one big mush. If I had waited maybe until the lighter color had dried, then it would have been better. I watched Emma Lefebvre video the other day, and it was It's Not You, It's Your Paper. And it was actually a very good video that sort of described that. So, because watercolors, so much you have to do with watercolors, so much you have to learn. Anyway, so I went in with a darker color and tried to create a little bit of a form for there, but it didn't really work. So as I said before a second ago, I was really not happy with this painting, and I was actually considering just deleting all the footage that I had done and not doing anything with it. But I did decide to go in with the marker and with the Micron and just see if I could do anything. And honestly, I was happy with it after that. And I didn't think the video, I tried to record that, and I didn't think the video worked, but actually, shoot, it did. So my phone died right in the middle, and then I couldn't find the video. But then when I started doing the editing, there it was. So yay. Anyway, okay. So all this drama for a painting. All right. So here is the painting when it's complete. And then I let it dry. And then, like I said, I went back in. So the forms are established. Very little of the shadow. If you'll notice that I was talking about transparency. Part of my challenge is the trees right there. You can see the mountain in the background, which is fine, except there's a big clump of trees, and I didn't exactly want you to see the mountain through that. So I decided not to go in and do the shadows more with paint. I decided to put just the details in there and sort of just wing it and see what happens. So anyway, so I think actually drawing on it really did help me establish all three aspects with the form and the shadow and the details as well. So I took advantage of the pen. Anyway, which, I really love that look anyway. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe because it's very helpful. And then, yeah, if you have any comments or anything like that, I would appreciate them. And I hope you guys have a fabulous day. And if you are trying to paint something, then I would like to encourage you just to go out and give it your all and just go paint something. All right. Thank you. Have a good day.